When it comes to comfort foods, cheese seems to always be on the menu. Yet, a lot of people are avoiding cheese and dairy products for a number of reasons. Some people have a sensitivity or intolerance to dairy, and some people are following a plant-based diet void of cheese and dairy products. So today, I'm going to share with you a cauliflower and cheese recipe that is both dairy-free and vegan. And the most exciting thing about this recipe is it is a super yummy way to eat cauliflower. And we should all be eating more cauliflower because cauliflower is one of the cruciferous vegetables. And the cruciferous vegetables are an amazing source of sulfur. Sulfur is needed for liver detoxification, hormone balance, and joint health. So let's get started. I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I have a pot of water on the stove ready to cook the cauliflower. I'm going to begin by removing the outer leaves, cutting off the thickest part of the stem at the bottom, and then I'm cutting the cauliflower in half, and I'll start cutting into the stem to remove the florets. You want the florets to be bite-sized pieces. When you cut into the stem, it comes apart more easily rather than if you cut into the florets. And you can chop the little bits of the stem. Cauliflower is such an amazing vegetable because it's part of the cruciferous vegetable family. So in addition to the sulfur, they contain other compounds that are supportive of detoxification and helping to fight free radicals. So this is one of those vegetables that should be in everyone's diet. So now the hot water is ready, so I'm going to toss the cauliflower in. Just bring it into the hot water. It'll cook for 5 minutes just to parboil it for a moment, soften it up a little bit so it doesn't take as long to bake. Okay, let this cook for 5 minutes and then we'll strain it. And now let's get to the sauce. For the sauce, I'm using tapioca flour, gluten-free and grain-free, and it thickens really nicely. So I have my pan on and it's nice and hot. So now I'll add the olive oil. And I'm going to saute my onions until they're translucent. Okay, now I'm going to add the garlic. The garlic and onion give this sauce all the flavor. So we'll saute the garlic until it's nice and fragrant. While the onion and garlic are cooking, I'm going to dissolve a bouillon cube in hot water. I'm using a bouillon cube in place of vegetable broth only to reduce the waste. You can choose vegetable broth if you want to, homemade vegetable broth or store-bought, both are fine. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to the onion and garlic mixture. So I'm just gonna sprinkle the tapioca in and mix it well with the onion and garlic. You can let it cook for a couple minutes to let the flavors meld. And once we add our liquids, it will thicken really fast. Now I'm going to add the almond milk and the hot water with the dissolved bouillon. You can bring the temperature up a little bit to let it come to just a gentle boil so that it thickens nicely. And the last ingredient is apple cider vinegar. I'm using apple cider vinegar to provide a dimension of flavor that you would normally get from white wine. And look how thick the sauce is getting. So this is just about ready to pour over the cauliflower. Smells delicious with the onion and garlic. This is done. It looks beautiful. We're ready to pour the sauce over the cauliflower. So let me bring the cauliflower in. And now I'm going to pour the sauce over top. And finally, we'll add the toppings. So first, we're using Daiya cheese. So Daiya is a dairy-free cheese alternative. All right. Now we'll place the gluten-free breadcrumbs on top. You can use a grain-free breadcrumb as well. And the final topping is the Go Veggie Parmesan style topping. A little more cheesiness without the cheese. Okay, now I'm going to pop it in the oven. It should bake for about 30 to 35 minutes. You want it to be just soft, like fork tender. You don't want it to be too crispy or too soft. So 30 to 35 minutes is good. This is looking beautiful. The sauce is bubbling around the edges. It's nice and browned. I'm gonna add a little bit of fresh parsley, both for flavor and to add some color. I think it's ready to serve. I would wait till this is cooled before you take a bite, but I can't. So I'm gonna take a little taste before we serve it up. I hope you enjoy this recipe.